Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, I'm going to do a podcast which will help students and aspiring developers to become a front-end developer. And today's guest mentor and speaker is Akshay. Akshay has been working as a front-end developer at Voeir, and before that, he has been working with several startups. And so let's start this video. And this video should be able to give you how you can start your career in front-end development, how you can start preparing for front-end developer interview, what are the resources which you can learn, and much more. So, welcome Akshay. Thanks for joining us, and just give a quick intro to our audience. Then we can get started.
Hi Manoj. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me to this podcast. So, hi guys, my name is Akshay and I work as an MTS1 at Voeir. My area of expertise is at front-end development and I've been in this field for past 2 years. I've been working majorly with initial stage startups. Like I really love to work with initial stage startup because like we are wearing multiple hats over there. So yeah, uh, so yeah, looking forward to this podcast.
Sure. Great, Akshay. So my first question is like, how did you discover front-end development, right? So during college days, most of the students are really confused. Okay, should I go with data science? Should I go with Android, or should I go with web development? And in web itself, we have confusion. We have front-end development, backend, or full stack. So how did you discover front-end development, and did you try any other options, or what? What was your reason behind choosing front-end development?
Yeah. So my reason was quite interesting. I will explain that later. So let me start from beginning. So in my third year of college, I began learning Java, and I was trying to learn Java from a training institute, and after that, like which was a really great experience. Later, I transitioned to working on a vanilla JavaScript project, and I found them really fascinating. Like after some time I found out like there are various frameworks designed for rapid development in front end development domain, and so I kept learning and improving and making the visual part of websites good. So like actually I was attracted to front end development in initially as there was lots of freelance opportunity in this domain at that time. So I wanted to work on some real life project. That's why I was attracted to front end development initially. But once I started working, I was really intrigued because we can see what we are doing. Okay. So in backend development, when you finish your like whole work, then you can see result. But in front end development, case is different. Whatever code you have written, you can see change on that your screen. Okay, so that was really fascinating for me initially, and once I started enjoying vanilla JavaScript projects, then I learned React, and yeah, so after that, it was like my permanent domain from since then. Yeah.
Got it. So yeah, I think like front end gives you like a instant like results, right? Once you
Yes.
code, you can see the application coming live.
Yes.
Uh, Understood. So as there'll be many beginners who will be watching the video or who are just in first or second year. So what is front end development mean?
Okay. So I will explain front end development in a naive manner. Okay. So front end is all about making websites or apps look good and like it works smoothly. Okay. It is like you are developing a comfortable and easy to use space online for multiple users where people can where people can click buttons, see images, and do things with no hassle. And there is no technicality involved in front end for user side. Okay, so you have just coming and interacting with front end on your screen with multiple things, multiple elements. So it's like it is the part of web work that you can directly see and interact with on your screen with no technicality involved on user side. So yeah, if I take example from for a Facebook, okay. So suppose you log into your Facebook account. First of all, you landed on your sign up page where you enter your password or yeah, like your username. So whatever you are seeing on your screen, like that input box, that button, that everything involved, that everything related to front end. So like, what's the logic behind? What is the authentication behind this logic for this form? it's not related to front end development. That's something related to back end development, we can say. So yeah, so anything which comes on our screen and user interact with it, so that's front end development.
Got it. So let's say if when you work as a front end developer, how does a process work, right? So someone gives you a design, you replicate it into a code or something like that. That's what happens, right?
Yeah, yeah. So coming on like how things work. So it depends what type of thing we are working. Okay. So if it's a feature which we are developing from scratch, then brainstorming is there with UX team. So UX team and UI team is responsible for creating good complex UI in a simpler way. Okay. And suppose some user is coming, they should be hooked with that particular UI. So that's the work of like a UX and UI team. So UX and UI team sit together and like come on some common design which will be easy to use for users. And once they come on final design, they use some tools like Figma, Adobe XD. And once they complete their design, they hand over that design to UI team, that is front end developers. And after that, they just replicate their design in responsively, like like in front end development. There is already in every project there is already decided for how many screens they will handle this project. Okay, so there are multiple screens, so they will just discuss then on which screen sizes this project will look good. And after that, yeah, and after that they just UI developer just start working on that design and replicate that in pixel perfect in ideal case.
Got it. So let's say if some are like only SaaS projects, so then they'll be just used in web, will not be used in mobile. But if it's something like a website, then it also need to be look responsive on mobile, as many
Yes.
mobile users will use.
Yes, it totally
Understood.
depends on the requirement. Sometimes some users are from tablets. Okay, so they have to create designs according to tablet as well. Majorly tablets and some screen sizes are not popular, but it depends on requirement of project. So yeah.
Got it. Uh, and one more important thing is like, what is the difference between roles like front end developer, back end developer, full stack developer, or what is the difference between these three people do? Right? You already told about front end development.
Yes.
So is it better to focus on front end or back end one, or is it good to be a full stack developer? What is your view on that?
Okay. So, as I've already explained front-end development, I will explain back-end developer and what is full stack development. And after that, we will compare all these three. Okay. So, coming on back-end development, like back-end development, as I have told you earlier, it's like a hidden engine behind a website or app which user can't see. Okay. So it's all the stuff that happens behind the screen to make things work smoothly and everything, it makes sure that everything's working fine. You can think it as a brain and muscle of these are digital products. Okay, so backend developers handle things like storing data, managing user accounts, and making sure everything that runs fast and securely. So as I have told the example of Facebook in case of front end development, so in case of backend development, backend developer is not at all interested like uh, how input field looks like. They are just interested in the data which was passed in that particular input field. And after once that submit button is hit, so after that backend developer roles come. They will just check like if this user is authenticated or not. If it's not authenticated, they will ask them to sign up first rather than log in. So yeah, things go on for backend developers. Okay, so coming on full stack development. So full stack developer is someone who does both things. So it's like we can say like it's a double duty builder in like this in these digital world. Okay, so it means you have to work on both the visible part of website and hidden behind the scenes stuff. Okay, So you are like a digital hero who can create the whole thing from start to finish. Okay. You can design how it looks, make it interactive, and also handle the technical magic that keeps everything running smoothly. Okay. It's like having the best of both worlds in world of web creation. So, in again coming on that Facebook example, so full stack developer will be responsible for both things, like designing that login page, how input field looks like, how authentication working, if that user is authenticated or not. So yeah, that user will be responsible for that. Full stack developer will be responsible for everything. And coming on your second question, which was like which is better, I think all all these three fields have equal opportunities. And of course, I must say that full stack developers are more cool than front end and back end developers, because they can work on both sides. So I, for your young audience, I must say like uh, all these three domains: front end development, back end development, full stack development, all these three are cool. But start with one first. Okay. So have like a proper skills in one domain, then move to another, then try to be a full stack developer. Suppose if you are starting with a front end development, back end development, sequence doesn't matter. Whatever you are starting, just try to be expert in that. After that, move in another domain, that is full stack, or that is back end or front end development. So yeah.
Got it. I think just to summarize, so full stack is nothing but front end plus back end,
Yeah.
like a person doing both.
Yep.
And back end is more related to data, how the
Yes.
data is collected,
Yes.
database, APIs, etc. Front end is more of replicating the UI to make it interactive and code it so that it becomes live on the
Yes.
website or app or whatever the digital product. Got it. The next important part is okay. So now let's say someone has thought, okay, I should learn front end development. What are the things they should learn, right? So in a step by step manner, if you can explain. So if someone was just entered into college or engineering and he just started his engineering, now he wants to learn front end development. So what are the step by step things he needs to learn?
Yeah. Okay. So as I have told you earlier that our front-end developer role is to like making visually good and user-friendly websites or app. So to achieve all this, we need to proficient in some set of essential tools. So okay. So
Okay.
let's discuss that step by step. I will start with HTML, that is hypertext markup language. So what is HTML? HTML is the skeleton of a web page. Okay, it employs tags of to define the layout, like headings, paragraph, images, links, and other essential elements. Essentially, we can say that HTML establishes the framework upon which content is displayed. So it's like just a skeleton of our digital product. Okay, coming on next thing, that is CSS, but that is cascading style sheets. CSS is all about aesthetics and design. By using selectors, properties, and values, front-end developers can control how HTML elements will be appearing on screen. Okay, so that's related to, like, it's not something your digital product won't work, but your digital product won't look good. Okay, and user won't be user won't be interested in using your data product, which was the initial point which we discussed, right? That we want user to be like hooked with our UI. And so like in case of SaaS product, there are like lots of competition. You must have seen CRED and other startups which are working which are having like great front end developers, and they are working really good in their front end thing, which is like really good. Okay, so yeah, coming on original question. So CSS is all about like ensuring a visually appealing and consistent user experience all over our digital product. Okay, then comes our third part, that is JavaScript. That's the most important part in case of front end development. So JavaScript is that scripting language that like that powers dynamic functionality. Okay, so developers use JavaScript to create engaging features like form validation, which I was talking about, animations, user interaction, real time updates, anything like related to some voting goes going on some application or something like that. So it transforms a static web page which was built in HTML plus CSS into a dynamic application that respond and adapt according to user input. Okay, so
Got it.
this is all about the basic three elements of front-end development, that is HTML, CSS, JavaScript. And these were the three basic elements which I learned initially. But as I told in my first answer, how I discovered front-end development, in that answer I also explained that after some time I got to know about various frameworks which make our work really easy and make things like fast and accessible to multiple users.
Thanks a lot, Akshay, for explaining the basics very clearly. So, just to summarize, it looks like HTML is like a skeleton, and CSS is like the skin or the hairs which make us look good, right? The aesthetic. And JavaScript is like the nerves where the blood grows and which makes us working, the dynamic thing, right? Yeah. So, one more quick follow up question on this would be, so, when college students generally start learning C, C++, or Python, so are these languages or the tools like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript is same as those languages in terms of concepts, or is it different?
Okay. So HTML, CSS are different from these coding languages which we learn in our college, like C, C++, Java, Python. Uh, but JavaScript is exactly same as Java, Python, C++. So basically, in a coding language, we all have same basic stuff. That is using if-else statement, for loops, declaring a constant, and things like that. So basically, these JavaScript and Python are same, but HTML and CSS are different, and we need to learn them separately. But they are very easy to learn, and it's like one or 2 week effort only, in which you can learn good concepts of HTML and CSS.
Got it. So okay, so what is the next thing? So once we have covered, okay, once a person has learned the basics HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, what's the next thing one should learn?
So So yeah, as I already told my how I started, how I discovered front end development. I was telling that once I was started enjoying vanilla JavaScript project, then I discovered that there are multiple frameworks to boost our performance, application performance, and to give user more good experience. Like they will be having faster applications and things like that. So we have multiple frameworks. Okay, so I will be discussing three major frameworks which are very popular nowadays, and most of the developers are using that only. Okay, so those three frameworks are React, Angular, Vue. Okay, so first I will start explaining React, on which I am currently working. So React is a JavaScript library. It's based on JavaScript only. Used to build complex UIs. Okay, so basically React is a component based architecture, allowing developers to create reusable UI elements. That is a showstopper thing for React. Okay, so in vanilla JS, when we were creating multiple components, we have to create components again and again to use them again. Okay, so but in case of React, we have a concept of reusable UI elements. You create a component, generic component once, and you use that component again and again. Okay, so another good thing of React is React efficiently updates and re-renders specific component, which result in faster and more fluid user experiences, particularly in single page applications. So basically, React was developed by Facebook, so it's a highly maintained repository, which regular updates are coming in this particular library, and it's really fast. So it's very popular nowadays in small or single page applications. Okay, now coming on second framework, that is Angular. So it's a comprehensive front end framework, proper framework. As I was telling you, React is a library suitable for small single page applications, but Angular is a comprehensive front end framework that follows a concept MVC, that is model view controller architecture pattern. Okay, it provides tool for building complex data driven applications by offering multiple features such as like there's a feature two-way data binding, dependency injection, and modularization. Okay, modularization is like in this also we create multiple modules for components. Okay, and the concept I was talking earlier, that is model view controller. This in this architecture we control whole Angular application, and yeah, it is suitable for big projects. So big SaaS products. So yeah, it's very popular in those things. Coming on third framework, that is Vue.js. It's a progressive JS frameworks known for its simplicity, or we can say ease of integration. It facilitates the creative creation of interactive user interfaces through its it's also having component based structure. So through its component based structure, it facilitates the creation of interactive user interfaces. So those interfaces are highly interactive and very fast. Okay, so Vue.js also offers reactivity, allowing UI element to update in response to data changes, just similar to React. Okay, so these are three frameworks which are next step. But once you master those frameworks, uh, then I think you are good to go as a front end developer in market.
Got it. So, one like two quick follow-up questions. So, what does a framework generally mean, right? So, what is the difference between JavaScript as a programming language versus React, or what's the difference between this JavaScript programming language and this frameworks in general? And the second question is like, should a one person learn all these frameworks to get started, or choosing one of them is sufficient to get your first job or internship?
Okay, so if you talk about vanilla JavaScript, it has basic set of rules in which you can develop multiple dynamic applications, but it doesn't have like advanced features like reusable UI elements and like we can say multiple uh, two-way data binding, which we covered in Angular JS, dependency injection. So frameworks are built on JavaScript language only, but they are highly efficient according to some use case. Okay, so like a user can use its multiple feature for its features to speed up the development process and like speed up their debugging process, or maybe user experience is also good using these frameworks. Okay, so coming on your second question, which was like is someone required to learn all these frameworks? My philosophy in this case is like different. So what I believe is we should have strong JavaScript concept. Okay, so our JavaScript should be really strong, and we should have like a really good JavaScript concept. Once you are good in JavaScript, then I don't feel that you face any trouble uh, in switching to any framework. But initially, you are good to go with one framework, whichever you like, or like whichever project you are working upon. So yeah.
Got it. So basically, framework has advanced features compared to the programming language, like
Yes.
advanced functions which we can reuse to
Yes.
make our development faster. Got
Yes.
it. Okay, cool. And apart from these, is there anything else that people should learn to like become a front end developer, like who is like market ready?
Yeah. So I will add two more things in this. That is responsive design and version control. Okay. So what is responsive design? So in responsive design, front end development need to ensure that whatever screen sizes your in which your application should work fine, is your application looking good on those screen sizes? Okay, so it's a approach of designing web pages to adopt gracefully to different screen sizes and devices. Okay, it involves using media queries and flexible grids to ensure that content is presented optimally wherever it's on whether it's on desktop, monitor, mobile, or tablet. It's just everything looks should look good, or it should be handled in a nicer way by showing few things like that we don't support this screen size. It should not work like things are breaking on some screen size. Okay, so next point is version control. For example, Git. Okay, so it's the most important thing to collaborate with your team. Okay, so as a developer, you are not working alone. Okay, so you have to work with multiple developers or like backend team and uh, like uh, uh, like other developers. Okay, so you need to know version control where you are keeping record of your code and where you are pushing your all changes you have done throughout your day. Okay, and if your device is like having some issues, your code is not lost, so version control make those things possible. Okay, so it's like track changes to your source code over time, fixes independently without touching main source code. Okay, and then merge these changes back into main code base. Okay. So this approach enables collaboration among developers, facilitate code review, and provides a safety that your code, if something bad happened, we can roll back to the previous state of code. So yeah, I must say that these things are enough for mm, being a to be a front end developer. And like for detailed roadmap, Manoj will add my roadmap from Nearlearn in description.
Thanks, Akshay. And the next question I have is like, how does what are the interview rounds look like, right? So
Hmm.
generally, in some roles, what happens is there should be a separate time that should be given for interviews. Like, will they ask something like data structures, algorithm? Should that be also be prepared? So, what are the interview rounds in general? First round, second round, third round.
Okay. Okay. So till now, my primary target was initial stage startups. As in a initial stage startup, your growth is exponential and you wear multiple hats. Okay. So my interview experience are limited to early stage startup to mid stage startup like companies like Shiprocket, Easy ETI. So in such companies, there are two type of path. So I will discuss path number one first. In path number one, company will give you a assignment, front end assignment, in which you have they will provide you a Adobe XD or Figma link, which you need to replicate same to same in their desired framework. They will tell you that they want code in React, Angular, Vue, anything, and you need to develop that nicely. And once you have completed that properly, and uh, they are okay with your code, then they will call you for interview and consider that this assignment as your round one. Okay, and if they are called you for interview, then you have cleared your round one. Okay, after that, in round two, what you need to do is there's a senior front end developer in that round, which will discuss things from your assignment. Okay, and whole interview will go around that assignment. They will ask multiple questions. They will ask you to do some changes, just to test your knowledge. And once if everything goes well, in last they ask some basic DSA questions that to related to array strings, etc. They won't go very deep in like DP like things. They won't ask things from dynamic programming. They will ask just basic things, array strings and basic DSA. Sometimes DSA is not even there in case of small startups and mid-stage startups. But as far as I know, in big companies, in even in front end developer role, they are good DSA is involved. Okay, so coming on path two. Okay, so path two is just similar to path one. Just step number one is different from path number one. that is in which we were provided with like a assignment. Okay, so in path number 2, uh, just everything will remain same. Just round 1 is replaced with a pair coding round, where a senior developer will come and you will work with him on something. Okay, so he will say, let's create a search bar. Okay, and he will just say ki, initially he will say, just create a search bar with a input placeholder, and it should be able to search among these four things. Okay, after that, interview goes on, things get more complex, and so yeah, just like that, you will do peer coding with that particular developer, and he will discuss your approach, and you will try to understand your depth of knowledge in that particular round. Okay, after that, same round 2 and round 3 goes on. Okay, coming on, so I have already discussed round 1 and round 2. Okay, so round 3 is same in both path. That is management slash CTO round. Okay, in case of small stage startup, like they are who are in their initial stage, you may encounter CTO itself. Okay, in which like he will be explaining like on what domain they are working. He will be asking some DSA questions, asking some basic JavaScript questions. So this round is not that tough as compared to round 1 and round 2, as like CTO or person from management believes that this guy is already filtered on his JavaScript and those knowledge, and he's doing somewhat like he's asking for other things, like he's sharing his specific project requirements. Like we use this in CSS. Suppose I use in SCSS. I use Material UI in as a CSS framework. Okay, so he or she will be sharing this thing in that round, and once they are satisfied with your responses, then HR round is also there. That in which like basic questions are there, like
Right.
company culture fit type questions are there. Then your offer letter is rolled out. Yeah, so
So
this
mostly
that's all about.
CTO
Yeah,
round is like a communication or culture fit round, kind of.
sort of. Yeah, in which he is trying to find a culture fit according to their tech requirements, not like
Okay,
culture requirement. Okay.
got it. Perfect. Uh, the next question I had is how does a day in a life of a front end developer looks like? And one more follow up question related to that is so according to like when someone a developer builds a front end of an application, they would only require when a new application is developed, right? Or let's say some new feature is developed. So what does every company develop new features and applications every time, or are there other tasks too that a front end developer would work on an existing application?
Okay. So, day in life of a software engineer is like a front end developer is as same as like day in a life of a software engineer. So, coming on your second question first, okay, that is always is company always building something new, where in case of front end development, or what at that time what developers do when application is completed and like everything application is launched. Okay, so in my opinion there is no limit to optimization. Okay, like speed of development and user experience, it always has a scope of improvement. So in my opinion, at that after once the project is launched, front end developers work on new features and like launching new features according to user surveys and according to user requirement, and working on current code and improve stuff and optimize code and improve speed of our application, and so yeah, improve readability of code. So these things are mainly involved in case of any software engineer, not only front end developers. As we can also say, like once a project is done, when what is the role of backend developer now? So both developers are like working on old things and optimizing new code and optimizing old code, and so this type of stuff. Okay, so coming on your first question now, like how does a day of a software front end developer looks like. Okay, so first of all, we start our day and plan things. So begin by day by checking our emails and updates from team, review our task, and plan our work, plan ahead and work plan for our work of the day. Okay, after that, for me, few people keep this in evening, but I keep this in morning. I do a code review first of my uh, peer of my fellow teammates. So like uh, in front end development or like in any type of development, most important thing is the code review. Okay, you have to review code of your peers, and your code is also reviewed by your peers. In my opinion, in morning time you are filled with fresh ideas, so I do a code review at that time and discuss changes with them and provide feedback and suggestion for improvement. Okay, after that we start on coding and designing. Okay, like writing codes for new features or improving existing ones using HTML CSS JavaScript React for to craft a user interfaces that are visually appealing and functional, may say. Or or we must be doing debugging, troubleshooting or fixing any issue that arise in the code, or like some issue raised by like a product team that is or faced by our user, in case of a SaaS product or something. Okay, so test on various devices and browser to ensure compatibility and responsiveness. Okay, uh, rest of the day involved in meetings, discussions, and continuous development, uh, and after that testing documentation. This is all like uh, we can summarize a like whole day of front end development. But like I believe documentation is also a very important part, which is like nowadays not considered as a part of uh, front end developer, in a like a routine of a front end developer. So one should document their code changes, explaining how they work for and for any specific consideration for future reference. Okay, so in this way they are making their code more readable, and someone if someone comes in future and they are not present to explain their code, this documentation will help new developer in get in reading their code, in reading one's code. So yeah, this is how I can conclude a day in a life of a front end developer.
The next question is very important one, right? So once you are searching for job or your internship, how will you showcase your work as a front end developer? So what are the different ways to showcase your work
Okay.
apart from resume?
Okay. So front end developers has edge in this scenario. Okay. So they can showcase their work really easily. Okay. You by making digital portfolios. Okay. Or by making clones of famous products. Suppose you want to land a internship at Netflix, so you can create a clone of Netflix homepage, or you can create clone of whole Netflix. So these type of things help you stand out. Okay, and company will believe that he has that particular set of like skills, which can be like useful for our company. So yeah, you can create digital portfolios, you can clone multiple products and apply for them. So it's not necessary cloning their products. Suppose you are like applying in a delivery, suppose. Okay, so you can explain like how you have created another logistic company clone or something like that. So they must be checking if this guy has worked on uh, similar type of application. Okay, so in my case, in current company, they work on a dashboard type application, so they were looking for someone who has already worked on dashboard type application, and I had a project which gave me a edge in my interview. Okay, so best way to showcase your talent is research about company's domain and create a project in that particular domain of that company which you are targeting. Okay, so this is the best way. And yeah, as I discussed, front end developers has edge in sharing their work over everyone.
Got it. I think I've also seen some people's portfolio being
Yeah.
very good, like with all
Yes.
the motion interactions and all.
Yes.
Yeah,
Even
that's
people
also
are nowadays creating uh, digital resumes in form of Gmail. Okay, I've seen one resume in which that guy has created his resume in resume in like a Gmail form, where
okay.
everything is like just like Gmail page. Okay, so yeah, that so if you are like a, creative and you are a front end developer, then it's a big plus point for you.
Yeah. Even I've seen like in terms of Amazon product page or something
Yes,
like that.
yes.
Yes. And the next question is, what are some of the free resources to learn front end development? It might be blogs or any free courses, or any other websites where they can practice all.
Hmm. Initially, while learning, when I was learning, so initially when I was learning HTML and CSS, free resources which helped me a lot was first of all W3 schools. Okay, and there's a YouTube channel called like Code with Harry. Okay, so that guy has a really good tutorials on HTML and CSS, and I also have learned my HTML and CSS from there. Also, you can consider Sean Pelling, the Net Ninja YouTube channel. He is also good with his tutorials. So yeah, I think for HTML and CSS, these things are good. And after that, you can consider cheap Udemy courses, or you can also check out like free code camp blogs and YouTube channel. It's really good, and they have like whole JavaScript courses in one video or something. So which is really good for like which is like a really good resource if you are like learning JavaScript, or you want a recap of JavaScript. Coming on, if you want to prepare for interview, then you can consider Akshay Saini Namaste JavaScript. It's also a free resource, and he has done a great job in that. So yes, you can consider that for interview processes. So yeah,
Got it. So I'll be attaching all the links in the description. I'll get it from Akshay and attach all of the resources to that.
yeah, thank you.
And the last question I have is, do you have any advice that you want to give to aspiring front end developers or who are trying to get into front end developer roles?
Yeah. Many young front-end developers or aspiring front-end developer also approaches me on LinkedIn and multiple platforms, and they are always I always see them. They are in hurry to switch to a framework. Like I don't know, they are very fascinated with React, Angular, or Vue. They are directly started learning either React or Angular or Vue. So as I've already discussed in podcast, so initial step should be HTML, CSS, and main step, that is JavaScript. One should have the deepest knowledge of JavaScript if they want to be a front end developer. Okay, because frameworks are like framework today. React is there. I'm not sure if React will be there in 2024. Maybe some new framework with better performance will come. And if you are obsessed with a framework, then you may face difficulty in that. So if you are good at JavaScript, then you can easily switch to any framework. Okay, so my only advice to young front end developers is like, please focus on JavaScript. Okay, and deep dive in JavaScript, and yeah, uh, that will be beneficial for them in long run. So yeah.
Thanks a lot, Akshay, for your time and for joining.